If Korea was unified under the communists, it's unlikely this would lead to any sort of domino effect. In the long term, the absence of a hostile neighbour right on their border would make Korea a much less repressive regime than in our current climate. They may even follow China in introducing economic reforms later on. For the US, this would further align them with Japan, and Japan would probably be given more military autonomy now that South Korea couldn't exist as a heavily militarized opposition to the communists. In our current timeline, the fact that Japan was basically prohibited from spending money on defense worked to the overall advantage of their economy as they had money for other expenditures. In this society, Japan would be less economically strong, but militarily more capable. It seems inevitable that the US would concern itself more with Indochina if they lost Korea, but there were so many different democratic uprisings the US violently stamped out in the Cold War that in this alternative scenario, any one of them could have gone better or worse for the US. Maybe America would have been so paranoid that in addition to helping France in Indochina, they'd have also helped them in the Algerian War. Maybe they'd have helped the UK against the communist uprisings in Malaysia. Maybe they'd have stopped South Yemen becoming a communist state, or North Yemen from overthrowing its monarchy. But while the US might send troops to assist their side in this global struggle, Korea might do as well. Korea would still have a reason to remain militarized as a society. Not only would Japan be more of a threat, but China has historically been a threat too. Korea could become like Cuba, sending out troops across the globe to assist in popular armed uprisings. On that note, Cuba would become a serious area of concern for the US in this scenario, but there's little the US could have done to stop the tide of revolution there, until America becomes a deeply more paranoid country boxed in by threats from all sides, and this leads to serious concerns about how the wider Cold War could play out. Check the comments if you're interested in part 2 of this alternative history series.